This watch would make a perfect stocking filler for someone. Seriously, it would. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Vintage Warlock channel. I hope you are all safe and well, and today we're going to be having a look at another AliExpress watch, and this one is perhaps one of the cheapest and one of the best looking cheap watches they have at the moment. You don't have to adjust your devices. I know I did say that this would make a perfect stocking filler for somebody, and I'm saying that in October, but on the plus side, that gives you plenty of time to get this watch, especially during the 11/11 sale. Now, the reason why I've mentioned that is not just because of the price. The price in itself is around £40. However, in the sale that I bought it from last year, I got it for £29, but also the fact that it's a mechanical movement at that price and it's a perfect dress watch. So I think this does tick a lot of boxes. Now, this watch is available on AliExpress on the Yule Global Store. I'll leave affiliate links below. As always, affiliate links don't cost you any extra, but it does help the channel out a lot by paying small commissions, which helps me provide more reviews for you. I'm not endorsed by the Yule Global Store in any way at all, and I've bought this watch out of my own money. Now, this watch comes in a number of different varieties. First of all, you've got a solid link bracelet that it comes with. That doesn't come with curved end links, it comes with straight end links. You've also got what they call a spring steel strap one, which is a bit like the old vintage ones that flex to your wrist. You've also got it on a traditional brown leather strap and on a black leather strap. I've opted for the black leather strap because I think that one works the best with this watch. So the brand name, although it says it in Chinese on the dial, is actually the Diamond brand. The movement they call is an 8120 classic movement with more than 20 years of life. I would imagine it's based on a seagull movement. It does seem to be fairly robust and it's keeping okay time. It's not amazing, but it's not bad by any means of the imagination. And a 20-year lifespan on a watch costing less than £40, that's pretty good. Leather strap, or the steel strap as it comes with as well. You've got just a normal mineral crystal, but it's a slightly domed mineral crystal, which does add that vintage sort of vibe to the watch. Waterproof, of course it's not. It doesn't have any water resistance. It's probably just 3 atmospheres if you're lucky. It is very thin, so it is a thickness of, I think it's 6mm, maybe something like that. I'll double check and put the measurements on as I usually do. I've just checked, it's definitely a 9mm thickness, so it's incredibly thin watch. Other measurements that you need to know is that it has a 36mm case diameter and 18mm lug widths. This watch also comes with a 3-year warranty. However, as I've always said and always thought about with AliExpress watches, if you have a warranty, it's great. However, if something does go wrong with the watch, are you going to send it back? You know, £40, really? Are you going to be sending that one back for replacement? I probably wouldn't. You might want to do, but I don't think I would. So let's get on to the dial and the hands. So first of all, the dial itself is a sort of creamy white colour, which I think looks pretty nice. You have gold indices all the way around, or gold toned indices. You've got Arabics at the 12, 3, 6 and 9. There's no date window with this, which I think is a fantastic and great addition to a watch such as this one. You've got batons at the hour markers otherwise, which are again gold painted. You do have a black printed minute track. Everything else seems to be applied apart from the logo and the writing on the dial, which you've got the diamond at the top of it, which, you know, I could take or leave. You've got the diamond word I think that is underneath, but I don't speak Chinese, so I don't know if that's right or not. And then you've got what appears to be some Chinese writing and 17, so I'm guessing that means 17 jewels. And underneath the last bit of writing that you have is China made. Stainless steel construction on the case throughout. It is a signed crown, which is interesting for the price that you're getting, and it's got a little diamond signature on there, and all the surfaces appear to be polished on the front. On the back it is brushed, which is good, although mine has still picked up a couple of different scratches. The leather band itself is okay. It's not brilliant, it's not terrible, it's just okay. It is nice. It has conformed to my skin pretty quickly, but it's not as flexible and doesn't have as much give as, for example, the Timex Marlin, which in my collection is probably the closest watch to this one. The buckle itself is quite nice and sturdy. It's again, it's got the diamond buckle on there as well, so extra points for the diamond store for keeping their branding all on point when it comes to this. And yes, this is a genuine leather strap. On wrist, it sits really nicely. The fact that it is incredibly thin and 36mm means that it can slip under a cuff. This would mean this would be the absolute perfect budget Monday to Friday watch that you could potentially wear as part of a small collection, or as I said before, it makes a perfect dress watch, and because of the price, it makes it a perfect gift or a stocking filler for someone. In my collection, this watch sits in a very specific place. It is a dress watch, and this is what I'd be wearing it for. Now, in my collection there are two watches which I already have which go into the dress watch zone. There is the Timex Marlin, which I've recently reviewed, and then also another one which I've recently reviewed is my Smith's vintage watch. Both of them have a very similar function to this one, but you can sort of see the reduction in price as things go down. The closest watch that I do have to this one would be the Timex Marlin, so I thought I would just compare the two very quickly and see what my thoughts are with one compared to the other. Now, with comparisons, the first thing that you have to do is take price into consideration. I'm going to very quickly touch on this subject as well. Yes, the Timex is much more expensive than the Diamond watch. However, Timex is a well-known established brand. The warranty with the Timex, although it is similar to the Diamond warranty, is from a big brand, and you can probably send this away with every confidence that this is going to be looked after properly. The movement is of a better and well-known quantity with the Timex as well. But other than that, in terms of comparisons, let's see what we've got. So first of all, neither crystals are sapphire. The Timex Marlin is an acrylic domed crystal which has a beautiful distortion effect, which I think looks really good. Please see previous videos on it as well, and I'll stick some footage up today for that one too. On the Diamond, you again have a lovely piece of domed crystal, but this one is indeed mineral, as I mentioned before. Now, if I had to choose between mineral and acrylic, for me personally, I would choose acrylic, and the reason why I do that is although mineral crystal will probably last in terms of shattering, not shattering, sorry, in terms of just over the dial a little bit longer than acrylic can. With acrylic, you've got polywash, you can buffer it all out, and I think that helps in terms of its longevity and still looking really good in the years that you'll be wearing this watch. Next, of course, we have case shape and design. So the case shape for the Diamond, which I'll have a look at first, is very flat. Although it is a relatively small lug to lug and it is a 36mm case, it does sit pretty nicely on wrist as a result of it. However, with that being flat, it doesn't conform quite as nicely as the Timex Marlin does. The Timex Marlin again has 36mm in diameter and an 18mm lug width. However, the difference with this is that the lugs do come out a little bit more with this watch and they are turned down, which means that it will wear on wrist a little better than the Diamond. Next is the design on the dial. So for me, I think both of them offer good designs. Both of them are in fact original designs as well. If I've got that wrong with the Diamond, please leave that in the comments below, but as far as I can see, it is just a normal vintage style design, but it's not homaging anything in particular. However, the one thing I will say is that the Timex one is harking back to its original design in the 60s. On the Timex dial, you've got 12, 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10 in Arabic. sticks and then batons everywhere else. They're all printed, and then on the dial you've just got, quite simply, Timex, and in very, very, very small numbers underneath you've got the movement. Whereas with the diamond, you've got a little bit more writing on the top. You've got the diamond logo, you've got the diamond name underneath it, you've got some Chinese writing, 17, and then China made under the bottom of it. Yes, you do have the gold applied indices, which goes very well with the gold hand, and that red second hand, the tip of the second hand, really sets off this dial as well. However, in my opinion, I think this is a little bit too busy. There's probably a little bit too much writing. If I was the designer for this watch, I probably would have got rid of the Chinese writing and the 17 jewels underneath it. I would have minimized the China made writing and probably put it underneath the minute track, not ahead of it. And I probably would either have just got rid of the diamond on this dial, because I think it looks a little bit cheap, or I would have just got rid of the logo and left the diamond on there instead. However, those points with the diamonds are just really nitpicky, and I know that it is difficult and it's hard to create original designs and to stamp your own personality on a watch brand, especially if you're not a well-established or well-known watch brand. However, what I would say with the watch is that it's a very good effort, and one thing that it does have over the Timex Marlin is that it does have the applied gold indices, which I do think are a really good extra to have on this watch. And to be honest, I would have quite liked it if Timex had have applied some of their markers instead of just painting or printing them on. However, there is something that I can say with both of these watches, which you don't find a lot of within AliExpress in particular. Even though the Timex isn't AliExpress, I still think that it's worth mentioning, is that the branding on the Timex is clearly visible. And that's something you don't see with even some of the bigger brands like Seiko. So you've got Timex on the dial, which you would get with other Seikos. However, you've got Timex on the buckle. You've also got Timex on the back of the watch as well. And that is very, very well done. Secondly, on the diamond, you've got the diamond on the dial, you've got the diamond on the crown, and you've also got the diamond on the buckle, and you've also got it on the leather strap as well. So again, there's been a lot of individuality taken into this watch, but there's also a clear branding between all of them as well, which is nice. So all in all, I would probably say that this watch does offer incredible value for money, and I would definitely add it to a collection, even if it's a small collection. At the end of the day, you are talking less than £40 on sale. I managed to get this for under £30, so £29 I managed to get this on in sale, and I think for the price you're getting a pretty good watch. However, I still think that comparing both of them together, there is a clear winner, and the clear winner would be the Timex Marlin, for a number of different reasons that I've mentioned before, including the fact that it's a big brand, it has longevity. Something I may not have mentioned before is that the bracelet and the strap, on the Timex Marlin is by far superior to the diamond. Yes, they're both genuine leather, but the Timex one just beats it out, all things considered. And I also am a fan of the domed acrylic crystal as well. Not to say I'm not a fan of the domed mineral crystal, but if I had to choose between domed and acrylic, I would go acrylic every single day of the week. However, I'm going to put this watch to one side and go back to the diamond. So I'm going to put the Timex to one side again, going back to the diamond watch. I like this watch. I think it is offering incredible value for money. I think that everything on this watch is done to a good standard, especially for the money that you're paying. And I think it does add another layer for a good vintage substitute if you're not wanting to wear things like a Timex, but you want to have a vintage aesthetic or feel to the watch. I also think that the fact that they are, proud that it is a China made watch as well is something good. I think that China has a lot of slack and it gets a lot of bad press because of its watchmaking and because of not just homages that people don't like, but also fake watches that tend to come out of China predominantly. And I think if you've got a watch company that's trying to do something a little different, I think that needs to be something that has to be celebrated and has to be taken into account as well. But guys, what do you think of this watch? Do you have a diamond watch? Have you bought it before? I will leave links to it in the description below. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments and I'll have a look at them. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this video, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram as well. Links are below. Guys, I will see you all in a future video.